That's it. Everyone bend the knees, hands to thighs, and very, very gently lift your head, your chest. You come up, and we're in an open squat position. Yes, good. So here, if you stay here, your hips are in a really good position to prevent any rubbing of the cartilage, as long as you curve your low back. So other direction, Lucia. Other direction, that's it. Okay, and let's have a look at Lucia and see how her low back is curved. Push your butt back, push it back. That's it, there we go. We're so trained, we're like, oh no, it's not ladylike to do that. We shouldn't do that. But it is so good for your hips. And that is actually a really good position to retrain the back if you have back injuries. Okay, now everyone turn your toes out, heels down, hands onto the thighs, push against your thighs and lift your chest. You're gonna have a big curve in your back, knees nicely bent, raise the arms up, and open them up and tell me what posture this is.
Warrior. No, goddess. Goddess, yeah.
Exactly. Goddess. Goddess pose. Lift and open the chest. Hips back. Yes. This position gets your femur bones directly into the acetabellum, and it's very good for them. Good. Take a deep breath in. And release. Let's straighten the legs. Good. Turn your toes forward so they're parallel. Placing your hands on your hips, make little circles. Yeah, just gentle. And if there's a little bit of cracking going on, that's okay. Oh, there we go. It releases. Change the direction of the circle. So what's happening here is the head of the femur bone going around and around in the hip socket. And guess what? Motion is lotion.
Lubricating the femur bone.
Exactly, lubricating the head of the femur bone in your hip socket. Yeah. Okay. Wonderful, ladies. All right. So Sanjali has turned towards me and Anita has turned as well. Everybody, if you could turn on your mat and get into the same type of position here. Nice. We're going to do a small warm-up exercise that hopefully you will enjoy, which goes through all of the movements of the hip. Okay? It goes from adduction to extension, external rotation, then to abduction, then to internal rotation to external rotation, okay? Do it as big as you want or feel. Toes turned out. We move back down into a small goddess, small, so you can have your hands on your hips. And as you come up, you're going to shift your weight onto your left foot, lift your right knee, circle it around, and sink back down into goddess. Yes, good job. Other side. Left leg, shift, circle, and down. Good. Right leg, up and down. Yeah. And again, left leg. Yes. Now you can come hands at the heart center if you wish. Up and down. You can start making a bigger movement. This is warming up the hips. Yes. Up and down. Now really, if you were ready for it and you're not warm enough, you can go up and down, goddess. Up and down, goddess. Yes. Up, down, goddess. Yes, good. Again, up, down. Okay, we're going to do it 4 more times. And I want you to breathe out, pull the belly button in, perineum up. Breathe out as you come down to goddess. Yes, belly button up, perineum up. 1 more time. Woohoo! Hands to your hips. Turn your feet forward and make some small circles with the hips. So I actually wanted to have you all test while you're seated just how flexible you feel your hips are. So just think about it in your mind while we were sitting in the very beginning, how you felt in your hips, how you actually felt. And notice at the very end when we sit again, how you feel and if you're a little bit more open, okay? So just bring that back to your mind. Okay, let's turn our right foot out to the right. And I want you to step your left foot forward a little bit towards me, or towards the, yeah. So this makes, if you turned both feet, you'd be like on rails, right? There's a space between your legs as well as between your feet. Got that? Okay. Lift your back heel. So I'm mirroring you. Okay, you've got your right leg forward. Let's bring the hand down. Good. Bring the back knee down. And Pamela, maybe you want to, it's up to you if you want to use your knee.
Yeah, it does depend on the angle. But yeah. Thank you.
So here we're in an interesting position because we've got flexion with the front leg and extension with the back. So lean forward a little bit more, being careful of the front knee. If you can go beyond 90 degrees, keeping the heel down without any pain, do that. And then sink the hip back. Walk your hands back, helping out. Yeah. Back forward again. Walk them back. Yes, really good. Forward again. Excellent. Back again. So we're doing flexion extension. If you'd like, just like Joan, you can sit down on your back foot as well. And forward again. You go as far as possible. And back again. Beautiful. Flexion extension. Flexion extension. Keep going back and forth. Well done. Whew. All right, bring your hands back down in front of you into a deep flexion in the front leg. Tuck your back leg under. Lift up and step back to downward facing dog. Well done, Annette. Pedal your feet a little bit, moving the hips right and left to release. Beautiful. Open your feet and walk your hands back, just as we did before. Hands to thighs. Help yourself up for your back. This is important. And then coming to standing. Turn to face me again. Hands to hips, and let's get the motion as lotion. Yeah, perfect. Good job. Change the direction. And we'll turn our left foot out. You'll step the right foot forward, so you've got those two rails. Does everybody understand what I mean by rails? It's that we're not lined up one foot after the other. You're lined up so you've got space between your legs as well as between your feet. Lift up the back heel. Start sinking down, bringing your right hand to the floor. Hold for a moment. Just a little stretch in the hips. Good. And then you'll bring that back knee down. Both hands come down. And begin sinking forward as far as possible so we get that flexion of the front hip, extension of the back hip. And we lean back. Go back as far as is comfortable. If you can go all the way down, you can do that. And forward again. Ladies, this is still just a warm-up. Go back and down. I'm just warning you.
The toes are flat, or they're...
I would point your toes away. I mean, you have a really good flexibility in your toes. You can do a big extension, but I would come into this position.
Oh, flat onto the floor.
Yeah, flat onto the floor.
Okay.
Much better. Good. Forward and back. Keep going. Beautiful. Really good. All right.
right, one more time. Good. And then we come forward again, tucking the back toes under, take downward facing dog, and pedal your feet. With the hands under the shoulders, bring your knees together. This is just for balancing, because if the knees are apart, we're going to be leaning over a little bit too much. So if you bring your knees together, let's take our right leg and lift it. And again, let's make that big circular motion for the hip. Yeah. And you can let your back move the way it wants to. We don't need to keep the back completely flat. You just get the hip moving. And if you notice, we're going through all of the movements of the hip. There's extension, abduction, rotation, adduction as you bring the leg back together. And we're going to do a little bit more adduction. So let's lift the leg behind us and cross the knee over the back one. Just 3 times. Up. So this gets us a little bit more adduction. 2 and 3. Good job. Bring the knee down. Who's Pamela's favorite posture? Child's pose. Let's do it. Knees open and sink back. Child's pose. Knees, bring your knees together, please. And let's do the left leg. So bring it up, circling around and down. Well done, ladies.
So the cadence with the breathing. We're breathing in as we go up and then closing as we come down.
Ah, good question. Yes. Yes, Joan, that's correct. One more circle. And then keep the leg up. Take a deep breath in and cross over as you breathe out, because we're closing off the articulation. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out. One more time, breathing in, lifting. And breathing out. Coming back, bring the knee down, open your knees, and sink back into a child's pose. Well done, ladies. Very good. Just relax for a moment. Okay, hands on the floor, lift your head back up. It's really super good.
I know, I worked
flexibility
really
in the
hard.
knees. Well done. We're going to take our bolsters, okay, and place them behind us. And for the moment, I actually want you to sit on your bolster. And do you remember how flexible you were at the beginning of class, how you were able to sit? And just notice if there's any difference. We've just warmed up. We've just created motion as lotion. We've just created a little bit more, perhaps a little bit more flexibility into the hips. And just feel, is there a difference?
Yeah, it's different.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
It's a difference.
And you feel a difference?
Yes.
Incredible. And you know that was just a short while of warming up and getting some motion into the hips. So the point here is that the fact that we stay in the same position most of the day means that we are training our hips to not move very much. The more you move in different directions and you get the hip structure to function differently, the more flexible you will get. Okay? So we're going to move on to some of that was just the warm-up. We're going to move on to some of the more challenging exercises right now. And that is also where we're going to bring in the breathing, belly button in, pelvic floor up. Okay? The first exercise, maybe you want to do it with the bolster, maybe you want to do it on the floor. Anita, you'll probably be able to do it on the floor, and this is going to help with your strength. Okay? But you must gauge it. Please follow what goes on inside of you rather than what your neighbor is doing, okay? You gotta say, okay, this is
Oh,
for
it's
me.
time to look at the neighbor.
I have. I'm glad. I'm glad you did that. So we're gonna bring our feet in front of us. Hands can be on the bolster, and remember to keep that small curve of the low back. We don't want to tuck under here because that you lose flexibility in the hip if you're tucking under. You need to lift, all right? That's it. Feet are a little bit wider than your shoulders, actually, okay? And hands onto the bolster to be able to support the low back. Take a deep breath in, breathe out, belly button in, perineum up, and you let your knees go to the right. Woo-hoo. Good. So this is something somebody with the hip replacement should not be doing. Coming back up, breathe out. Yeah, belly button in, perineum up. Okay, so this is the easy part. All right? This is the easy peasy one. You can do this, anybody can do this. If you feel, okay, I now want to challenge myself, you go to the floor, push the bolster away. Do it without the bolster, okay? And you may be thinking, oh, but you know, there's not a lot of strengthening going on here. That's why there are different levels. Hands to heart center. Oh, yeah. Keep lifting the chest, Sanjali. Yeah. Jane, be careful with this, and your feet much wider. Look how my feet are wide, ladies. Okay. You may need to scoot back a little bit because you'll be moving forward with this. Okay. All right. Come back to center, everyone. Grab a hold of the knees and lift your chest up. Was it difficult?
It's all right.
It's all right. No, not difficult. Okay. All right. All right. For those of you who it was all right, maybe you want to keep with that one. And Jane, I would keep with that one, and hands supporting for your low back. Okay. Sanjali, you must lift the chest up. Okay. And Joan, on the bolster, you'll be able to do this next level if you wish. I'll show you in a moment. Okay. How are you feeling, Lucia?
Okay.
Okay, good. Annette, how are you feeling?
Okay, but I stayed on the bolster.
Perfect, perfect. I'm glad you did. Feet a little bit wider. Don't be shy. Okay, this is for your hips and the health of your hips. Next level. Knees, watch me first. Knees go to one side. Here's where the strengthening comes in. You lift. Ooh la la. Guess what? Hips, glutes, working, low back. Make sure you're not here. You lift. Back down. Knees. Lift. Ooh yeah.
You made that look really easy.
It
Yeah.
is. Ready?
I think people should make sure their knees are on the mat.
Yeah.
So maybe bring
So
them
maybe
down.
scoot back.
I think that's
And for Annette and Joan, on the bolster, actually, for those of you who feel, oh my gosh, it's way too much, come up on the bolster. You don't have as far to go. Because you're coming up off the bolster and the hips are down. Right? So you could do that. You can also help yourself with the hands. Glute strength, lady. Here we go. Okay, ladies, come facing again. Knees, we're not going to lift up. We're going to stay on our mats and place your hands to either side of the one knee. You'll switch afterwards. You could be on the bolster if you want, but on the bolster will actually be more difficult. Yeah. Yeah, come right off. So hands to either side of one knee. How are the knees doing, by the way? Good? Nice. All right. Lean forward a bit and make sure you've got that length. Pull the belly button in, perineum up, and lift your back leg. Woo! And then bring it back down. Did you not feel anything?
Yes.
Okay. That's what we want. So that's the extension, ladies. This is what we have to do much more often. The extension, not the flexion, because we spend the day in flexion. Got a cramp?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So how many do you want to do? The chest up. Okay. Can you lift? As long as you're not dropping here, it's really the leg. You don't have to straighten the leg. All right, let's do 5. Ready? 5. Woo. 4. Good. Bring it back farther. 3, 2, 1. Lift the knee, coming back. Oh, yes. Hands to your knees, lift the chest. Close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths. How are the hips? Feeling good? Yeah. Feeling good, huh? All right. Let's change sides. Leaning forward a bit. Just try it out a few times until you get that, oh yeah, okay, that one's working now. Yeah, that's the one I need to work. Keep the chest up. You could have your elbows slightly bent if you want, but just be sure it's the chest lifting up. That's great, Annette. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling it all along here.
Okay.
One side is harder than the other. This one is harder.
Oh yeah, your left one. Okay. The chest, here we go. Up it goes. 5, 4, well done. 3, make it strong. 2, and 1. Let's roll back. Grab your knees, lift your chest. Okay. Now I'd like to give an exercise where we combine 2 things, maybe 3. And you choose if you want to do the entire thing or slow down, or if you want to use a bolster, you may. So I'll show you first. I'm going to be lined up on my mat this way. I will do a tabletop, which is a famously beautiful yoga posture. Okay, where we're using the glutes. Guess what? We don't realize it, but we're using the glutes to get the hips up. We come back down. Feet are wide. I let them fall to one side. I'll come up, down, and just for the pleasure of it, and then back again. Whoop, whoop. Knees up, down, up. Fantastic. Every morning. So, to do it with a bolster, I'll quickly show. I can do it from here, up, down, knees. I can push off as well, just to help out. Up, down, knees. Remember, if we're up on the bolster, to lift this leg is going to be more difficult, so I wouldn't lift the leg. Help myself up and back down. Amazing hip work, ladies, and this is combining yoga with hip mobilization, the new science of hip mobilization. You want to get all the different movements of your hip, as well as getting that lifting, because we're working against that constant sitting. Cat. And what we're going to do is lift the right foot and come here. And this can be squatting Natchajarasana. And back again. And then the left one. And you soles of your feet together, knees wide, lift up, and you just lean forward. And now, Annette and I were entertained by you. Awesome. Grab a hold of your right knee. Turn your left leg so that the inner thigh is up. Lift up tall. So turn the foot so that it's turned. There you go. And you'll lift. 5. 4. 3, 2, 1. Turn the foot back. Everybody feel the inner thigh?
Yeah.
There's another way to do it. You'll set your hand down, lean over a little bit more, and then you're going to get even more into the inner thigh. So let's do that. Yeah, also what Lucia is doing on the floor, it can also be done. So stretch your right leg out. That's it. Now lean to your right, Annette, and bring your hand down. There you go. So you're really on that right hip. Same thing, Frederica. Bring your right hand down and lean over. That's it. Yeah, even better. 5, 4, easy peasy. 3, 2, 1. Good. Coming is the half bridge pose. Now, watch me first. I'll go down to my mat. Half bridge pose is wonderful because it does work those glutes. Bring your feet together, and Pamela, you be careful of the knee if you feel there's pulling in the knee.
we'll be lifting one leg up, and guess what? We'll be doing a circle. So I'm going to do it with the other leg because I got the wall here. We'll all have to do it with the same leg so we don't kick each other. Go out as far as possible, and motion is lotion. Big, 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 big circle. Really release this and get lotion into the hips while you're working the glute of the other leg as well. And then the other leg. Good stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Anita, I'm going to give you the strap because we can't do it with the TheraBand. So I put it around one leg. I'm going to strap it around my thigh, okay, as tightly as possible. Now for you, Frederica, this may be a miracle. Because we are going to hold on to it.
Yeah.
And I want you to bring the knee as close as possible to your chest, okay? What this does is it's an effect of pushing this femur bone, this one, away from the hip socket and may decompress. Yeah, sort of more fluid.
Yeah.
So ladies, let's rub our hands together. And take your hands and place them at the bend of your hips. And just give a slight push down. Close your eyes. Take a couple of deep, slow breaths. Imagine sending warmth and heat to the structure of your hips. Send gratitude. And send love to your body, to your hips. Respect and care. And let's raise our hands to the heart, palms together, lightly touching. It was a great honor to teach all of you today. And I hope you'll walk away with some good tips. And remember, motion is lotion. Namaste.
Namaste.